And the sudden silence of going live.
That was the quietest start to a Maker's Waffle ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we're live now.
We are live now, yeah.
But Crit, run away.
It's good to see you all. See you later.
Great Waffle. Catch up next week. See you later.
Yeah, bye.
The biggest problem
It's so tempted to just kick people out then.
I was going to say, it's just this is where you find out where you've turned the camera off and actually no one's wearing anything from a t-shirt downwards.
Wait, you're saying that's the normal way of...
I was going to say, like when he's the zooms and stuff.
Do you think that's any different from normal?
I guess not.
Standard weekly Waffle.
I mean, you only need to appear decent. You don't have to be.
Yeah.
Whoa, don't set standards too high there, Russ.
Less undecent.
Trying to neatly arrange this whole Windows setup.
You said you've started by doing some admin, Kjell.
No.
What Jamie's found the best way of sorting out your windows. What you do is you just buy a new monitor for each program you run, and then And then if it's been a good month at work, then what you do, you just buy a new monitor for each tab you want to have open on Chrome.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
No. Not with the amount of tabs I run.
That'd be a lotto win.
Oh, the problem is that you couldn't stick enough graphics cards in the machine, and you'd end up with such tiny screens. It'd be like those little 1.5-inch OLEDs just all over the wall with one page.
But I'm feeling
it could be
twitchy.
art, though, too.
Admit, though, Jamie, you would have if you could.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely have a wall of screens. I keep meaning to do the VR thing to just have the full virtual monitors, so you can just keep moving them around.
It looks a bit weird on a call like this, though, if you're just sat there with a VR headset on.
We could just stick googly eyes on the front. We can
I
pretend
can
we're
try
there.
it.
100% would have googly eyes on the front.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Different sized googly eyes.
Yes.
Well, the trick would be to put your VR headset on, and then you could have a nap, and nobody would know. It's the perfect work from home.
On the
These aren't
Quest,
real
that's got a
glasses.
nice flat front. That would work really well. Sorry, Quest 2, that is.
I think there was a guy that made a filter that would always have you look at the camera no matter where you look. Right? So if you just
NVIDIA
apply
have now
that,
done
you
it.
can do whatever you want, but it looks like you're paying attention.
NVIDIA have now rolled that into their
Yeah.
product. I keep meaning to have a look at it, but
I'm sorry, I was laughing then because I've opened up my Quest 2 and found one of those Power Cube things that James and I were talking about the other day. So Mr. Multi. So this is the missing one. And the bit that's even more confusing is I don't know when I last had my Quest open, but a $1 billion note just fell out of it.
I know exactly when that was. So weirdly enough, that was when you had put the Quest 2 on James's head. That was when me, you, and James and Duncan were all in the very strange hotel room in London.
Yeah, okay. But where did the $1 billion note come from?
You won that at Tim Hunkins' thing.
That's a strip club thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, like...
100%. That's not an actual thing. That's a strip.
I think it's what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like,
This is what happens in London stays in London, definitely. Yeah.
I think, more to the point, drinks are on Simon next time we're all together.
for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to
I don't
London.
know, Maker Central could be the biggest and best turnout ever just because of the drinks are on me.
That's it. We've got that recorded now.
I was going to say,
Oh, yeah.
we got
Oh,
loads
yeah.
of snippets. Let me just make a note. 4 minutes, 25 seconds.
It's Friday night only if it's the Hilton Bar, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It'll be in the Moxie, and he's going to buy out all the other rooms. So guests only.
Just so we can get in after 11.
Probably, exactly, yeah.
the
You can
worst one
force
was,
them to let people in.
Yeah, worst one was I was there after 11, not this year, gone the year before. But unless you've got a room key, they just don't serve you. But any drink, not even just a non-alcoholic, and it's just kind of like, oh, cheers for that.
This year they wouldn't even let us in. They had 2 big lads on the door.
Wow.
Mm.
I really don't get the idea of not having more people drink at your bar.
I think we're just rowdy. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
was there,
you well
wasn't
know this because you've just had the weekend of us being rowdy at your house.
Yeah, but you were very well behaved, all of you.
Wait,
you know of.
including me? That's new.
Yes, including you, Raz.
Oh, okay.
You notice I didn't jump in there and say even Raz.
Yeah.
I was scared for a moment.
I'm just slipping.
I think we still have chocolate.
Oh, that's good though.
I was going to nab a bar and bring home and completely forgot. I got on the plane and then went, no.
I mean, I am
context.
planning to come down to make it for Hanover as well. So
Cool.
I could be bringing more chocolates.
I'm not. That's not fair, Raz. You have to just send
When
some.
are you next in Scotland to bring me some? What's the plan here?
No.
Can't you just stand at the edge and throw it across, just like skim it across the sea?
Well, there's talk of Orkney kind of looking for alternative governments.
Oh, that's hilarious, actually.
So yeah, Orkney is not like Orkney, Scotland. Yeah,
I mean, without getting into it, there's talk of all of Scotland
Norwegian.
looking for alternative. But...
Yeah, but you're just going to chisel through Hadrian's Wall and send us off shipping, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I'm sure I've explained this to you. When the Scottish Parliament first started, because anybody can register a party to be on the ballot, it basically costs you like $2,000 and you appear on the ballot. There was a party suggesting that Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales should campaign for English independence rather than campaigning for Scottish independence. And the idea was to basically just dig a moat round England.
Didn't the Cornish threaten to do that just to give them their own independence as well at one point?
Yeah, and I think Liverpool would quite happily do that, and I think London would quite happily do that as well.
Well,
London
London's
can
got the
do it.
Thames; it's halfway there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
One good tide and London be gone anyway.
You just dig under the M25, just cut that out, and then just...
No, just the inside of it. Just
Yeah.
leave the M25 there, but just take out the 9 million people that use it, and we'll be all right.
Yeah, can we not talk about the M25? Because I really don't like the M25.
Too soon.
anymore. Yeah.
Too soon for me. Yeah.
Have you all been driving on the M25 recently, by any chance?
On the way back
is-
from Kjell's, but yeah.
Driving is a very
Sorry, have you all been parked on the M25 recently?
yeah. It's pretty rubbish.
This is the London's car park, ring car park around the outside that's masquerading as a motorway.
That'd be the one.
Yeah, for
the
context, one
international
of the reasons that we didn't have a show last week, just for the benefit of listeners who might have wondered why there wasn't a show last week, a couple of things happened. Guests cancelled at Friday about 15 minutes before I was due to leave for a trip to Wales, and I spent I travelled the M25, the M20, M26, M25. M4, 220 miles at 38 miles per hour average speed on Friday last week.
Grim.
Yeah,
It's
it
the
was very,
whole
very grim.
East
Yeah.
to west of the UK, pretty much.
Yeah. And so I knew there was going to be a long trip, and so I didn't have time. Jamie didn't have time either to sort out an alternative guest with various things happening. So it was just like, we're both tired. I was wrecked by the time I got back. I've been wrecked most of the week. So it was a case of like, let's just we'll have to skip this week. So that's what we did last
took
week.
a day off. That's what we did.
Yeah,
Well
we took
earned
a day off.
Just to let,
it's
let
slightly
Two-Thirds
earned.
Focus catch up with us.
Hey,
Well, they've got episode 100 coming up. So if you've got questions,
and we we have released every single week for 100 episodes.
Well, that's the thing, because we were a few weeks ahead of you. We're just waiting for you to catch up, so we keep having these little breaks, so that we can then do the same episode numbers every week. Then.
I'll fight you for it.
But what about hours that for duration of recording? I guess
That's an unfair metric.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody catching us.
Yeah.
I
I don't think
we
there's
may
any
have-
chance of
24-hour
anyone
live
catching up to
streams.
you there.
I think we may have caught up with making it. Haven't checked for sure. But... yeah, ain't nobody catching us on that one. Yeah. But yeah, topic this week, as people can see who are watching live, and if you're not watching live, you're listening. Have a little look in the listing. You'll see our guests. Well, I'll tell you who the guests are. Obviously, Jamie and I are here. We've got everyone apart from one's been a guest before. So we've got Neil, Rasmus, Kjell, Simon, and Mia. Mia is our only non-previous guest. But yeah, at some point, maybe come back on again. And they all have one thing in common. Apart from the fact that, they all have one thing in common.
Humans.
Actually, they have many things in common. But the most critical one for today is the fact that a couple of weeks ago, they were all guests. I wasn't. But they were all guests at, how should we call it? An invite-only maker camp on the...
I think somebody coined the
Germany.
term Kamp Kjellski at one point.
Yeah, Kamp Kjellski. If those who follow some of these folk on Instagram will have seen many glorious pictures of glorious things happening, from large constructions to shirt making, welding lessons, campfires, and
T-shirt printing with potatoes and lino, as Simon's modelling.
Yeah, so check out the video if you're listening on audio.
unfortunately that one, which is the
Stitch picker.
That's it. Doesn't show up very well on the camera. It just looks like I've dripped something down my chest. But it's the detail of it is so good.
Good one.
That one came out really well. To be honest, actually, all of them came out really well, apart from mine, because I did it in reverse, which doesn't make sense. And Duncan's as well came out
I was
pretty
quite impressed
impressive.
the amount of them that came out pretty well from potatoes. Like the lino ones were obviously going to come out really well, but like mine was done on a potato and done badly, and managed to stamp about 10 shirts.
Yeah, that's that one. Look, it came out good for those that are on podcast. It's that one.
For the
Well
audio
done,
listeners.
Simon.
Sorry.
Well done, you.
So we thought it would be a nice idea to bring back Kjell and a few of Kjell's guests from Kamp Kjellski to have a little bit of a chat about it and reminisce and tell us about some of the amazing things that happened. And,
Make everybody else jealous.
Yeah. I mean, but we start with you, Kjell. Why? Why do you do this?
I guess it all started really when we started doing our hangouts and got to be proper regular meeting up friends when Corona hit and everybody was lonely, and we very much so got into the habit of keeping in touch and just keeping closer contact. And for a long while, I think I didn't see many people more regularly than you guys, except maybe my wife, because we were living together. But that's pretty much it, other than maybe work colleagues. And yeah, in that time frame, a few years ago now, I found this property I'm living on now, the farm. The property I'm living now on is just fantastic. It's very big. It's got all the projects you would want and a few you don't want. And if that's not enough, I'm making some up. So yeah, and it's big enough to host a lot of people, and I invited last year for the first time. I invited a few friends to come over and be at my place. Back last year we didn't do camping much, but this year's it was all about this, because I managed to put the kitchen and the bathroom in the barn over the last year, and that led to us being pretty much in no need of the real house anymore, which was fantastic. And yeah, this really makes it a ton more easy to set up, because we basically just set up a tent and have a gathering space, and then everybody sets up their tent, and then that's it. We just need to go grab some food and can chill and have a nice time together.
It
Yeah.
definitely was.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
next time maybe we can figure out how to actually use the stuff that I've prepared in the woods. But this time it was a bit colder and a bit rainy, and we all were fearing a bit that it would get muddy, and so I think it was perfect this time to just put up the tents on the big lawn.
Well, it worked great for the couple of people who sort of stayed up there in camper vans.
In the cars, yeah.
Yeah.
How was that, Neil? I didn't even walk up when you set up there. You switched, right? Because you were on the slope the first night?
Yeah, I first night I was down on the field, but I had that moment where I was like, all the blood's going to my head. I should probably move the car. But no, moved it up into the woods. It was lovely. Really, yeah, nice and quiet, and
It's a bit
was
better
good.
protected from the street, right?
Yeah, it was mainly Rasmus that I couldn't hear anymore. That was the.
Hey, I was
No, in
quite-
fairness,
There was a
You're
Steve in a
fucking-
hammock as well in between the trees, wasn't there?
yeah, Steve was in his hammock in the trees there as
Oh,
well.
yes,
which
yeah,
was
he
good.
was a sensible sound barrier between us. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. But no, it was really nice. Yeah. Good views to wake up to.
Yeah.
Did Steve ever find out that it was Rasmus that bit his lip?
No, and he still doesn't know it, so shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go back into the frog.
Sorry, Steve.
No, Steve, you went to
Steve-
bed too early. That's your problem.
I tell you what made the camping in the woods better was when Duncan and Ellen finished that staircase and the path
Ah,
through, and anybody
Yeah.
else who was working on
Yeah,
that,
I didn't.
the little cut-through staircase was brilliant.
Absolutely, yes. And there's a development that I didn't show on social media yet. So, or at least not all of it. A week after, we had a big storm, and
yeah.
in that storm, half of one of the trees broke off and slumped down, and very luckily so. It would have been a few meters apart from Simon and Mia's tent, but also it was fortunately not gone on my barn, and it broke only one pallet. But I had a wood chipper, and I paved the way to the woods now, basically completely with wood chips.
Oh,
So that
nice.
should be even nicer next time.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And then
That's
we
such
need
a
to
cool
figure out
setup.
what to do with the ground there, because I don't think there will be a normal grass floor would grow there, because it's too shady, maybe.
It's definitely not grass that was springing up. There's lots of
Just
little
weeds,
oak
right?
saplings and weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do there yet. Maybe I'll just get a really big, massive delivery of these big wood chips, right? The ones I have now, they are too small. But I think from the farmer, like next village, they have like a crazy big pile they always put up after storms. And it's, by the way, really interesting. If you just shovel up a bit of it, it really steams because it's getting so hot from the chemical reaction. Yeah, and then I could eventually just spread it there, so it's a nice ground where you can properly walk on, even if it's a bit moist.
Yeah.
That'd be ideal. As long as you can still get a tent peg in next year, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
a slight offshoot, but there was a guy in France up in the mountains in the 80s, 70s. He used to make huge piles of wood chips, and he would heat his house and heat all the water all off of a giant pile of wood
Oh,
chips.
crazy. Okay.
There's a video on YouTube that kind of goes into it, but it's quite some obscene pile.
Yeah,
Cool.
just a pile of copper pipe, feed it back and forth underneath
Basically,
it.
he lays it all
Pile
in
it
it.
up.
Yeah.
Little solar powered pump. That's all you'd need.
Problem is, to do that now, the copper would cost more than just normal heating.
You could probably use PEX too. Yeah, PEX
Yeah,
would
that's
work.
true. More of an insulator, though, isn't it?
Building wheat farm is actually a funny thing. If it's getting legal here, I'll just plant weed everywhere, like proper cannabis. Why not?
Just keep the kids away.
I'm not sure that'll keep them away though. That,
I was
depending on
thinking
the
the
age,
same.
you might be keeping them
which
away.
age
They might be
group,
coming. They might be going. They might be coming again.
So all the kids get pushed out the way, and all the parents just come wandering in instead.
So I've got a question. Who travelled furthest? I mean,
I
Neil,
think
you
Neil,
were
to be honest.
you were what 900 miles?
954 each way.
For Raz,
I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know
what
if I
the
was
car
the
way
farthest.
back was for Neil, for Raz and Stian.
We drove just about 1,000 kilometers, so Neil drove further.
Okay.
Okay.
But he also, I mean, we technically had to go further north, but it was slightly more of a direct route. Whereas Neil is a bit more off that way and then northwards. So
Yeah, I mean half my journey was getting over to Calais to get on
exactly.
the tunnel.
Yeah.
So
Although home was much
I'm
nicer
still-
than there.
I was
In
about
terms
to
of
say
traffic.
I'm impressed that we're 22 minutes in and Simon hasn't mentioned Antwerp yet. But
He's still recovering,
yeah.
I think.
We've done
That's
in
actually
25,
quite
so we're
mentioned.
just waiting for the next one.
Yeah, no, I needed a bathroom so bad, but at least it gave Mia something to laugh at most of the way round Antwerp. I was changing every song that was coming up into some other thing, but yeah, but there we go. Was it an hour and a half, 2 hours on the way there around Antwerp, or 7 minutes on the way home?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
fuck.
wasn't counting.
It was supposed to be either just over or just under 2, and I think it ended up being close to 4.
Jesus.
We went the way that Google was saying, because it said it was only a 35-minute delay, but it still said there was a 35-minute delay even when we came out the other side. It's the only time, in my opinion, that Google Maps has let me down.
No, as
But
I
it let
said,
me-
it probably gained 35 minutes. We drove about 2 minutes, yet the traffic extended, so it was still 25 minutes ahead of us.
Yeah.
And that just kept going.
It has to be said, I did have the delightful company of Steve for that bit of the drive. So, and on the way, I have to say, Steve and I camped at an exquisite campsite on the night on the way down, and some chef called Andy prepared us BLT sandwiches to take with us. Did a full cooked breakfast for us and everything. So, yeah, TripAdvisor reviews all round are positive.
Yeah, we won't mention the hourly alert from the church clock.
There was that, which I suspect if you live in a village where the church bells go off every hour, you get used to it very quickly.
Yeah.
If you
Wait,
don't,
at
and you're
night?
camping outside, all the way through the night, every hour. Not just some of them, every single one of them.
Yeah,
There was,
no.
there was a slight note of sarcasm in there as well.
But
Yeah.
at no point were we unclear what time of the morning we'd be woken up. So,
I mean, I'm sorry, but how common is that in England? Because that sounds stupid to me.
It doesn't happen in Burgess Hill. I mean, we're only about a mile from our main church, and definitely don't. Actually, I don't think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, some
I
places
think
yeah,
it
it's
does
not
like
that common.
12.
Yeah, it's not that common, but it does happen.
Because like that's like sound pollution and disturbing a good night's sleep and all of that.
Yeah.
Is it automated,
Yeah,
or is
yeah,
someone
yeah.
just? If you got a insomniac living in the village?
I mean, it just begs the question, like, what's the mental health fallout of just having that charge bell going? Of disturbing sleep and stress levels and like
You get used
all
to
of
it.
those
You,
things
you
piled
just,
on.
you just don't notice it. You just don't notice
It's probably
it.
a bit like
No.
living next to the train.
Railway station, yeah, or a
train track.
motorway. You just
Well, that is true. Like, yeah, you tone it out and you don't listen to it. Like the fellows in Blues Brothers said, like, how often does the train go by? So often you won't even notice it.
Yeah.
But it's still like that's still a disturbance. That's still subconscious, something
It's-
that is
as
wearing on
Steve-
you.
As Steve has pointed out, there's also a minor element of we were in a tent. So
Oh yeah.
it's not like we
Yeah.
were in a house with walls and things like that. So
Fair
there's,
enough.
you know, that's, yeah. But it was lovely accommodation with some great meals provided and a good hour or so in a pub to break
Yeah.
up the drive. So good company, good food, questionable sleep. Great.
Did you get to a point where
Kind of made
you
me feel like a
phoned
little
in
bit
and
involved.
stroked each other's hair to sleep?
They had separate
Sorry,
rooms. They had separate
we had-
tent rooms.
Yeah, I don't share. Andy got my rider before I arrived.
It's the
Well,
150 brown
Steve's hair's
M&Ms.
long enough to track out under the tent and give it just stroke.
Niels isn't. Oh, Mia, how did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good time?
I did. It was quite calming since it was 1 or 2 weeks after my GCSEs. So it was fun driving for a very long time, even though I wasn't actually driving. I was just sitting there, had a couple naps. Don't think Dad was too happy about that.
It's your job as co-pilot, though, is to stay awake and just annoy the driver.
To be honest, actually, it was good to have someone that was awake most of the time. Then quite often it was, oh, good, they're asleep. Skip. It was a playlist from Spotify, songs to sing in the shower to, which
It's
I must
a
admit,
good playlist.
most of them were good songs to sing along to, and every so often it came up with one, and I was like, "You what?"
I feel like that needs to be linked in the show notes, Andy, if it's a Spotify playlist, so that we can all enjoy that.
I'll make a note right now.
Hang on. But Steve didn't like my recommendations for when you guys were asking for playlists. I mean, everyone needs to listen to Baby Shark at least once every so often.
No.
Oh, in Centre Parks, we were going to do a squash wall, and then there was a family, and the mum had a shirt that said "Mummy Shark, do do do," and a dad that said "Daddy Shark, do do do." The child
And,
was not wearing the Baby Shark.
yeah, and I'm going to take a punt that Dad didn't.
Yeah, that definitely hasn't been his idea.
I don't know. They probably could have forced the child into doing it, but they weren't wearing it.
There you go. The playlist is in the chat.
Which chat?
Oh, sorry, not that one. You want that one? There you go.
Where did you send it?
I put it in the main chat of the on that screen.
That's
Okay.
That's helpful.
Waffle, make us waffle live feed. There we go.
WhatsApp. Did you put it on WhatsApp?
No, I put it on the main feed on that one. Then I put it in the
Private chat
on
from
that.
SteamYard.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
Then I put it over there as well. Man, I'm gonna have to listen back to this.
This is getting highly confusing.
Contrary to what this chat would have you believe, we actually got some stuff done at Kjell's.
Yes,
We
indeed.
did.
Yes.
What sort of things?
Lots of food.
Rasmus brought Stian with him, who was exceedingly useful.
Yes, that was my job.
Yes.
To bring Stian.
I always feel bad for Raz because everybody's beating on him, but he did a ton of things as well.
He did.
I ate a lot of food.
Yes,
did,
but
you-
also
and I
things
carried
you're not
sticks.
that good at.
I carried sticks.
Yeah, no. So maybe to give you an impression on how the whole thing went, we gathered at Thursday, where I think half of the people arrived, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jamie and Duncan flew in. Neil and Steve came by car. Simon and Mia came very late, but after Antwerps they arrived. Then, yeah, Stian and Raz, Ellen, and
Caro
was
Yeah,
there
and
already.
Caro on
Exactly.
Thursday.
Yeah. So that was the first 10, I think. And then Jamie prepared some food, which was freaking fantastic. And we had some baked potatoes, and I think we pretty much decided to not do anything like major on that day, which was really smart in my opinion. We just thought a bit about what we would like to tackle next day, and next day we really on the Friday all the rest arrived basically. Was it everyone?
Yeah.
I think everybody else was.
It was Hannes and Holger. They turn up Saturday, or were they?
No, they came in on Friday as well, I think.
Yeah, but just a bit later in the evening.
A bit later, yeah, exactly. And we did the first. So I'm trying to build a carport, which is not the right word for it, but now it's a carport. It's a bit bigger as a structure.
Slightly.
It's a warehouse that's got the name of a carport.
Yeah, my wife said when she was standing there, when only the frame was hung up in the air, she was like, "You're well aware of this. This could house 2 families, right? Like just from the size of it." Yeah, but so there was one big bit that was giving me a bit of headaches on how to get this done, because it's really, that thing couldn't have been done alone. That is just impossible. And the fantastic stuff we achieved on that end was really that we on the Friday managed to put in the whole first field, and we put in everything, I think, right? Yeah. On the Friday, we put all these, I don't know what the correct English term is, Sparren, struts in, or whatever the in-betweens are.
Joists, yeah.
Joists.
Sticks. They're sticks
of wood. Whatever that. Yeah, and we managed to put all of them in, which was fantastic. And we continued on Sunday to put the cross bracing in. And that made it all nice and square, which was really, really good, because both of these things that are just undoable alone, that it's impossible. I think
it's worth also saying here that this thing is for context for those listening. This structure is 10 meters by 17 meters, and in terms of getting it square and dimensionally accurate, this was Kjell and Stian up at roof level, squaring this whole thing up, and you got it to within 3 centimeters?
I think it was 3 centimeters over a 19-meter diagonal or something.
Yeah, first, and then you tighten it up, and you got it to 1.
Or to 1, yeah. I mean, it was really. It's very square now. I'm very happy about
that
the accuracy.
Tolerance is just ridiculous. I mean, that is German proficiency if ever I've seen it.
Really, really nice indeed. Yes, and when that was all done, basically, there was the Saturday in between. So on Friday, I took most of the time to do that. And I think a lot of the other projects that went on were about the stairway. I think Duncan started the stairway with Ellen on Friday as well, right?
The stairway,
yeah, that was one thing that happened. And then basically we tried to just also welcome everybody that arrived on that day, and had a nice. I mean, I think we had a bonfire every night. Although on Saturday, then the next day it was really rainy, and I was very happy that we put up my big cake tent. So I have a tent that is bought from a cafe back in Altona, and that is supposed to look like a cake. I think it's
a marquee essentially.
It looks more like
a cake on the end.
An alien.
Yeah, painted on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was really good because it was pretty much raining all day, and Hannes came over and he brought his TIG welding machine with him, which was
That was
fantastic.
really cool.
And he gave us a bit of an introduction to TIG welding, which I never did before, and which was really great. And he really started the day off with introduction to it. Everybody could have a try, and I think he stopped at at 11 at night or something when Holger's last bit of the little bike trailer was done. That was really, really nice. And at the same time, we had everybody equipped by Jan, and everybody had an analog camera to shoot some nice analog pictures. And we did the screen printing, the T-shirt printing, with everybody could do their stamps on potatoes or Lionel, yeah, from Leo and Roxy, and that was really nice, and it was just really fantastic. I think honestly that was one thing where I thought like we couldn't have done any better on a day with shit weather. We made the best of it. Yeah. And then on Sunday we basically did the square up of the rooftop, which was really nice for me, because I was a bit afraid that if I couldn't get this done, that would be a step that I would have to wait for, because the thing needed to be squared up in the air, and then I just after that I could put the braces in. And yeah, on Sunday most people left already, but yeah, I think it was really nice and a great event. I had a ton of fun, and I was really happy that everybody came, and that everything kind of worked out. Of course, there were a few things that didn't run very smoothly. The whole food thing was great, but can be improved, I guess. Maybe just so everybody knows, the food thing I was really trying to not get involved with, because I'm just not good. I'm good at eating, but nothing else really. I'm not good at preparing.
It worked fine. We had. I did some very quick and simple stuff on the first night, but then James and Naomi absolutely took over and fed us beautifully for the rest
barbecue
of the weekend.
And nice complete chickens on the. Oh, that was really good. Yeah.
I had never tried aubergine before. So to try barbecued aubergine, I thought was pretty damn good. And it was also a great way to get rid of the bomb from burning your face.
Good stuff.
Please tell me you've gone back to it again. It's just not locked away in a like a bomb shelter or anything like that, open under extreme caution.
It is on my rolling cart with all of the other sauces where it belongs.
Which gets rolled straight out the back door.
Now, whenever we get a takeaway, break out all the chili sauces and have that. Yeah, it'll be mixed into some other stuff. I think I'll be trying to see if I can make it more palatable for human consumption.
But the thing is, every time you went, do you want to try? And it came back out again. I went back for more, and I just didn't get that.
James saved you some little wings to put it on.
Yeah, that was mean. But that was. I really enjoyed it on the wings. The rest of my body didn't, but my brain did. My brain was like, "Oh, that's good."
This is the thing. So this when everyone says, "Why the hell do you like chili sauce?" What it does is it physiologically it makes your brain release a load of endorphins. So it gives you a rush. Once you've got past that initial kind of like, "Oh my god, I'm being attacked," your brain releases a load of endorphins. That's why like chili heads like chili sauce is that it does actually make you feel good.
I mean, you can have the same endorphins by banging your head against the wall and then stopping.
Well, absolutely.
Now, but aubergine won't stop that from hurting.
Face jumping.
Plus, you get the fun of being able to go, "Oi, try this," and then
that is a good one. That is true.
So what you're saying is the endorphins come from inflicting it on others,
as well as.
I need to work out though. I think the two need to that and the last dab need to get compared.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to source another bottle of last dab.
So
I've had some of the last dab, and I think that was really good.
Yeah.
So we did the whiskey tasting at Kamp this year.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
whatever that stuff Rasmus brought was that tasted like mouthwash. Maybe
Norwegian
next
too.
year is hot sauces. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, although trying to
Everybody
get
bring a
those,
hot sauce native to where you come from. Yeah.
I think trying to bring, we'd have to drive next year, I think, for me to bring all of the hot sauces, because I think
Chemical
I'd
weapons
probably
are not
be,
allowed on
yeah,
airlines.
I think that's the things I would be taken for interrogation, I think, as trying to cross the border.
I know when you go onto an aeroplane with baby milk, they make you drink it to show that it's not explosive. Could you imagine them doing that with your line of 30 hot sauces?
This is the thing. I was really worried because it was over 100 mil. It's like 113 mil when full.
Yeah.
So I was expecting it to get flagged up. But what actually happened, which was glorious, was that there were two separate security lines when me and Duncan were flying home. So I went off one way and Duncan went the other. We thought we'd have a race. But what happened was I got stuck behind a mum and daughter in front of me who were trying to figure out what they had to take out of the various cases and bags and coats. And at which point Duncan just kind of got straight through to the queue. But he had more, because he had a bigger plastic bag. They made him decant it out into other bags. So he then had over his limit of other liquids and gels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to call me over from the other side to put some of his stuff in my bag. So when mine just went through, they didn't even bother checking the bomb. It was just like, yeah, just chuck it all in there. You've got your mate stuff. Fine, sod it straight through.
I didn't even think about you having a problem getting that over, because
Yeah.
clearly, obviously, I drove over with it. So, but as
It
you
was only
noticed,
after Neil and Steve left with my other stuff, I thought, I probably should have put that in there. I very nearly decided to leave it with Kjell to see if it would be used at all.
Silly question though. How many Scovels do you need to import into a country before it's actually categorized as chemical warfare weapons or something?
That's a good question. I would imagine anything with extract is getting up there to be in.
Because
That
I
would
realized
then
that
be-
if you try to make tea out of chili, you're basically making pepper spray. I
Yeah.
discovered it at one point.
So a fun thing with the pepper spray is, when you see on most cooking shows and things where they
Sorry,
say,
can we
like,
just
getting,
just
like,
pause a second, Jamie? Just analyze that sentence. The fun thing with pepper spray is.
So the incredibly painful discovery with pepper spray is that you can accidentally make it at home if you follow cooking instructions for the wrong dish. So when they say things like, "Oh, make sure the pan's screaming hot," but when you put the ingredients in, and you do that with a batch of freshly cut red bird-eye chilies, and you throw them all in, and then all of the seeds instantly explode in the oil because it's too hot, you then get hit with effectively pepper spray.
Yep.
Which I discovered while trying to make a curry about 12 years ago. So the youngling was still.
Is that how you lost
crawling
the hair?
around. Yeah, that's why it all migrated down below my chin.
Yeah.
But
There's
yeah,
a very
completely
funny
pepper
scene
spraying
in
the,
Clark's farm. With the
Yes, it
chilies.
is. Yes, it is. That's also fantastic. Not to interrupt you, Jamie, but that's
Is
fantastic
that
as well.
season 2?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So he's starting to grow his own chilies. They're going off to some professional chili sauce makers.
Kitchen, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh yeah, we do this all the time, while crying and coughing lungs up and like having, because like, this is now pepper spray. The room is full of pepper spray.
Can confirm it's not fun.
No, it's really fun from a distance.
In full gas mask.
Yes, that also helps.
And just be thankful you were doing that with chili peppers and not with mustard seeds.
Is mustard
Fair
seeds
point.
worse? Oh, mustard
Mustard
gas.
gas. Yeah.
Yeah, that is worse. Never mind me.
Yeah.
Especially doing that in Germany. That's a bad history.
Yep.
Or the UK.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
You explained it. But I mean, yeah, the fun thing with pepper spray, that's got to be a quote for this week.
I mean, that's going to have to be a sticker or a T-shirt or something.
Or an album. Yeah.
If only you guys like named your episodes. This could be the one called "The Fun Thing with Pepper Spray Is." Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. We have to
no.
yes. Probably to have to start going through and retrospectively going through 105 other episodes to kind of add in.
I'm thinking this sounds like a job for some kind of automated tool, machine learning type wizardry.
Duncan?
Yeah, but imagine, imagine training, an AI, Chat GPT-4 or whatever on Maker's Waffle. That could be dangerous.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would be a fun thing for even subjecting a computer to.
That's right. They're going to take over the world anyway, so they need to be put sort of through the paces a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you could feasibly already do a lot of that, because you could get transcripts from episodes generated by AI automatically.
Yeah.
You could then just feed that into ChatGPT or something and just say,
search for
catchphrases, something funny to use as a title that is being said here.
What were the
TV show?
What were the 15 words said before the phrase that you find that should be on her?
Yeah. Yes.
Find the biggest laugh and rewind by 10 seconds. I'm waiting for the point at which you guys have AI on as a guest. I reckon that could make for a spectacular waffle. Just the two of you chatting to Chat GPT for an hour.
I was going to say, he's there in the middle.
Hey.
Oh, it could be fun. It could be fun.
We just have AI controlled by one of our guests, just as someone like the Twitch does type things of just Twitch asks or Twitch drives GPT.
What would you you've mentioned already kind of the possibility of doing it again, Kjell.
Sorry, come again.
You've mentioned already the probability that you're likely to do this again.
Yes.
So what would you've done the carport, and if but those who haven't seen the pictures of it, go and find on Instagram the pictures of it. 10 by 17 meters.
It's really quite big. That's right. That's correct.
About, what, 5 meters high at the front?
No, it's about, so in Germany we always say this, the light height where the light comes through, if you want, is the bottom to lowest part of the ceiling, so to say, right, where you can still drive through. And on the back side it's 2 meters and 90, and then the front side I think it's 4 meters and 20 or something. But it's really very high, and it feels kind of dangerous to be that high in the front, to be honest. And the next step is basically, I gotta walk on it and put the rooftop on, right? It's gonna be interesting. I do have a safety harness which I will likely utilize, and I probably do it in a way where we come from the lower end, start one siding there, and then put the others on top of it. But at the end, I think at the middle you want to switch, because otherwise you would have to carry every one of those sheets, which all weigh like 30 or 40 kilos, over the others. And it doesn't exactly feel nice to be that high up and carry such heavy things. On the other hand, it's kind of funny what your brain does. Once the roof is closed, it feels like this is the safest place to work and the safest stuff to walk on. Which on the potato barn we used the same material, and for the last row up top, you wouldn't even realize that you are more than 6 meters above the ground, because I mean you've got solid ground right below you, right? And that's anyway, it's going to be a bit interesting to get that bit done. The last bit I think will be one of the harder ones as well, because it's the material weight alone is 2.6 ton or something, and everything has to be lifted up on the roof by hand. And
Good workout. Good, nice workout.
Yeah, good, nice
Good
workout
workout.
indeed. Yeah.
So
We'll
is that
see.
next year's project, or you hope to get that done before next year? So
No,
what would
I'm
be
going
the
to
project
get
for
that
next
done in
year?
the next month for sure.
So what will next year's project be?
So let's put it this way. I would really like and try hard to take a break in building things and restoring stuff. I won't start with the right side of the staples and the house yet. I might actually get into redoing a few things of the walls because they are crumbling left and right. But I'm really trying hard to take a break and do some normal makery, because the stuff that I'm doing is always either hardcore construction or really building a kitchen and a bathroom, for example, right? And I'm very, very happy that this all worked out, right? We had the greatest of all stress tests for the toilets in the barn, and everything worked, and the kitchen worked fine, and we had enough refrigerators, and the stove worked, and I think it couldn't go better. It was really nice in that sense. There are a few things to be improved. For example, there needs to be a bigger trash can, and there needs to be a thing to put the toilet paper on in the bathroom and all that jazz, right? So there's a ton of things to improve. But I don't know if you've never built like a room that then has to be a kitchen after you're done. It's just a ton of things to learn, which is not a bad thing. But at the end, I also really enjoy inventing things and just doing things creative and nice. I just today was showing like the latest addition to my little new tool pouch, which I bought after the camp because I was so freaking pissed with the one I had. That always my damn speed square fell out. And then the new one I bought was also shit because it didn't work the way I wanted to. And then I don't know. I just was very much fed up after I put the braces on, and now the headbands are all in, and the whole thing looks like a proper cool structure now. I'll post about that soon. But then I just took a piece of steel, flat steel, and bent something in shape so the thing has a sturdy pouch entry. And now you can really nicely put the speed square in; it won't fall out. And there's a measuring stick and everything. Just doing that bit felt so refreshing. It sounds kind of stupid, I guess, but for me, it's really I want to get back to doing things that are a bit more creative than just doing a new thing, which you can't do very good because of obvious reasons, and then it's still needed to get the thing done you want to actually have done. So yeah, we'll see. I hope to be able to make a break. Realistically, there will be something, but I'm hoping to take a break. Yeah.
We had a big long list of projects in the spreadsheet that we didn't get.
Exactly. Now, yeah, that is a really good point, and that is really, really nice. So after camp, basically we sat down and thought about what to improve, and then we put up a Google form for the participants to have a go at and to get feedback, which was really, really cool, because now we have basically a list of things that we can do and improve, and eventually we'll do it next time that maybe people can bring small things that they prepared beforehand, and then we have already basically built to just put in here. One feedback I got, which is absolutely true, is we had no timetable, right? So we didn't plan the days. I think that was very nice and chill, but also you couldn't say, okay, I'll do this then, right? There was just no, hey, we'll start building the structure at 10 or something, right? Or we'll have lunch at 2 or something like that. That just wasn't existing. And maybe we'll make something up for next time that is of that sort, which might just be nice and helpful. And yeah, on the other hand, I made a few proposals about projects that could have been done, but also I didn't really account for I should be giving people instructions on what I want to do in what manner and how and all that, because of course nobody just goes at my pile of wood and picks something out and cuts it in half and builds something out of it without asking me, hey, is that okay to take? Should I do it this way? Where should it go? What dimensions does it have to fit, or anything like that, right? and and I was very, very proud of us. We didn't manage to get any neighbors over, so we could, I mean, of course there was at times it was a bit too loud, but our neighbors are really super chill. They really didn't come over once, I think, and they didn't complain afterwards or anything, and yeah.
Fantastic.
If I may ask though,
Yeah.
when you bought this property, did you have a camp like this in mind already?
No. Well, I guess in the back of my head, I wouldn't have bought something that would have. Let's put it this way: we have been when we found the property, we had looked at well over 30 houses, and everything was insanely expensive in and around Hamburg. So we were going more outside, and then we had a really great. We just were very, very lucky to get to know the people that sold this, as the kids of very honest and nice parents that that just died, and they wanted to sell it, and they were searching for somebody to buy it for a year. And you have to understand that we still talk to these people probably at least once a month, and we were invited to a party from one of the sons and his wife, and we were in the participants of that party, which was just to have a party about their life, because they got diagnosed 10 and 15 years ago. And we were just very humbled and happy about them thinking we took over the property and preserve it well and develop it well. And I think something smaller would have been shit, to be honest, because it wouldn't have made me happy enough. And my wife was really my savior, my hero here, because she convinced me that I shouldn't buy that other thing that we had in mind the 2 tries before. And once we had this property, honestly, I was very much sure about this is not a property for 2 people, and it's not a property even for only one family, I think. If you've got 6 kids, then maybe that's different, but right now my parents-in-law and my brother-in-law are living downstairs. They have their complete own flat, so to say. It's completely separate. We don't have to interfere if you want, right? And we have our flat upstairs here. So it's really nice to live together here with 5 people now. But honestly, once the other bit is restored, you could probably easily have 2 more families here. So it's just, I think it should be used for good people and lots of them.
Yeah. I think we all want to come back if given the chance.
Yes, please.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Maybe exactly. Andy, you mentioned that once at the very beginning, and I wanted to just say that I don't know. Probably there's no other Germans here right now that are listening to this that are not in the group of people that came. But if so, I would like to do something a bit similar for my German maker friends. But I think it would be a different event. So I do keep this closed, and I make it my choice of people that come, mostly and mainly because I think it would be very easy to scale this to 60 people, but I don't want that. It would be very different, and I think it would be a lot more stressful. And I think we had a really, really nice set of people that there was a really, I think there was a really nice, safe place to stay and be you, and you. I don't know how to say that, but everybody could just express themselves in the easiest and most honest way. So I don't want to just introduce people that are not from the group.
It's not, you're not trying to create a European version of Maker Camp or
exactly. Exactly.
This was a.
Maybe I'll do that as well. No promises, but it will be a different event.
On that. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Is that the kind of the history of the first kind of event last year was the fact that there was a group of us who had all expressed an interest in, kind of, we'd all individually spoken to you and said we'd love to come and kind of help you out with some projects, or come and give you a hug to say, well done for finding this property and that kind of thing. And I know, like, when we'd first talked about it, Duncan and I were talked about coming over to see you, and then trying to get timings and things was quite difficult.
Yeah.
And then it was that kind of point of basically just a tight-knit group of your friends had all kind of said, hey, we want to come and say hello. Can we come and help you with something? Because we see this mammoth project you've taken on.
Yeah.
And he said, well, sod it, let's just have it all in the one weekend and you can all come at the same time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's
you're right.
I would also say it's a very different atmosphere when you have a group of people where pretty much everybody know everybody else already, at least to some extent.
Absolutely, yeah.
Compared to if it were to be a big open thing where you would have not like normal people or random people showing up, but people who might accidentally being left out of the group just because they're not, quote unquote, as good friends with everybody else as well.
I mean,
so
Mia brought her dad along to the whole thing this year.
Yes, very much so.
You're right, Raz. I think that's exactly it. It's the fact that it was a group of friends all coming over to help Kjell. That's ultimately what it is, isn't it? It's
and I think we Leo and Roxy and Pia, so to say, came a bit later into the group of friends, and we just after Maker Central, I think we got to the point where we would just say, okay, let's have you as well. And I think this worked out great, but as stupid as it might sound, I think another person might have tipped it or something, right?
Yeah.
So it could have been that it would have just needed another person that wouldn't fit as good, and all of a sudden it would be a completely different feeling to it. And I'm very happy that it worked out this well, and everything was perfectly fine. And we'll see how it goes. If next year Dan and Janie will come back, and I hope that at one point G and John can come, which would be great. And we'll have to see how much people we can still keep coming, and how big it can get before it gets too big. I really don't know. But
I think that's the thing, is you've got the lessons from this year to work out what to improve.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, we weren't exactly at risk of overcrowding your property this year.
I think so too. Yeah, the overcrowding bit would mean probably at least double the people. But I think what we discovered as well is about 20 people is the limit for one bathroom. Really.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's the bathroom and kitchen is.
Yeah, and we used mine on top here as well, and in that sense, it was good that we had another one. Next time, it might make sense to just have a little how are they called, Dixie toilet or something.
Portaloo.
Or just
Portaloo. Yeah,
or like a separate urinals for the guys off to one side, or.
There's also a limit to how many people could be going, Kjell, how do I do this?
You'd have to be just stood in the middle answering questions, I think, rather than up in a
I'm really not good
basket
at that.
up in the roof.
You stay
so
here.
What you're saying is you're at the point where you need staff.
Yeah, see, that's
you need a Duncan.
You need a PA.
Yeah. Where do I sign up?
No, I really think that's really, it's just something to be figured out. And funnily enough, I think we had it in our chat group that a few days ago, I don't know when it was it Steve that asked, hey, what do you think about doing a little course at yours? A little class? That'd be freaking amazing. I would
Yeah.
totally say yes, and when. That'd be fantastic. And yeah, I would love to plan something like that where it's just a specialized event thing, right? And then we just have, I don't know, a 2 days blacksmithing course, and Raz and Steve come over and do it or whatnot. And I don't know, really all of the above, please. The place is big enough to do it all. I mean, at one point I need to get to work at one, but
Nah, come on.
yeah.
It sounds very
mean-
exciting. I think before we kind of sort of round off the public half of the show, before we go into the sort of Patreon only after show, I think I would, from having looking from the outside and having seen other people organise things, maybe not on quite the same scale, I would certainly encourage folk to kind of sort of think about organising their own little events with groups of friends, whether it's just something as simple as a kind of having a pizza party, have a barbecue, or whether it's kind of actually kind of having sort of something where groups of people get together, maybe kind of go along and kind of maybe help. In your case, you've had some help to create a carport big enough to take some trucks and some sort of agricultural vehicles. We've seen things where Essex Makers, for example, organising events and having kind of that ability to kind of get a group of people together to sort of sort things out, or whether it's kind of helping with projects or just the kind of just that social side of things. I would certainly encourage makers to if you've got the space for 5 people, invite 5 people over for an
Be the
event.
change you want to see in the world. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, the one thing I was really sad about is that the weekend after, Lars, a friend of mine from southern Germany, made his Makers Weekend with most of the people I knew that went there, also with Hassan and Pero and Arne and Tom and I mean, it was really also a very, very cool and nice event. I would have loved to go there, but I was proper shot, so I couldn't go there. But yeah, I think so too. And the really funny bit is what you probably won't realize before you experienced it. If you invite makers to your place, it's a lot different from I don't know, ordinary people, right? Because you have to keep them busy. They actually want to do things, and it's more of it's sensible to have tasks at hand that you can distribute, right? And I remember, I think the evening, the Wednesday evening, I had to work late, and it was I had to push some stuff to work. And anyway, I ordered a last minute order on Tuesday was 5 liter of degreaser. Right, just so if anybody wants to, we could tackle one of the machines, the planer or the thicknesser, which we didn't get to, but it reminded me afterwards. Well, you have to have some work ready for people to do, because it's really hard to keep makers just sit around, do nothing
until you ply them with whiskey and cider and things like that in the evening.
That helps. And Radler.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got Radler and fire, that's the only time you get them to sit down and not do something.
Yeah.
I think the fire has a very hypnotic effect on makers.
Yeah, and bringing out Smash and marshmallows and things like that. And it's I had a quick question for Mia though. For was the kind of the sort of the newer member of the group, in that how did it feel to you in that sense of being a big mass of people that you'd kind of not really interacted with before, and was there a decent enough blend of all walks of life?
Yeah, I felt very safe compared to other situations in life, so it was very comfortable to just be meeting new people. Basically, I very much enjoyed just getting along with everyone, chatting to people who I usually wouldn't talk to. It was very calming.
Cool.
That is Wonderful thing.
It wasn't just like, oh, come along and spend a weekend with your dad's friends.
Definitely not. No.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
I think that's the thing, because from my point of view, one thing that just about all makers tend to just, no matter who you are, they accept you as just one of their own and speak to you on their level and your level. So that was the, kind of being the, kind of Raz's age, being the younger member of the group, whether or not there was any of that kind of. You didn't feel like you were being spoken to as a kid, is what I'm trying to get to as well.
Yeah, it's a very nice kind of helps also with the transition to college. It's very useful.
Good.
But I must admit, not that I was wanting to put. I'll try and answer Mia's question for her there, but I mean, Mia seemed very excited for the camp before it came up, and what's also nice is she wanted to go, and also another event that happens in about the May time that she also seems very excited to go to,
Cool.
without it being trying to force it on her, which is quite nice. But again, that's very much a case of the community as well, though, isn't it? It generally is very welcoming.
Yeah, and the fact that you feel comfortable to bring your teenage daughter to a group of nutters in another country, that says a lot about the group of friends that you keep.
Or a lot about Simon, one of the two.
True.
You can read that either way.
It just shows that Kjell's got good taste in nutters.
Usually in 1 kilo tubs. And
That's a pretzels, yes.
I was going to bring more peanut butter Kit Kat chunkies, but Mia was concerned that turns out at the last minute we realised that they probably weren't supposed to go over the border, so the number was reduced just in case we were one of those unlucky people that did get searched. Excuse me.
Oh no.
yeah, that's fair.
So you only have 2 kilos now?
Unfortunately, they don't buy them as much as that. But 2 kilos to Kit Kat chunk.
Yeah, but my protein you can order from the UK as well. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yes, but I prefer my peanut butter protein to be wrapped in a small piece of chocolate.
Barfon.
Yeah,
With Kit Kat written on it.
yeah. I just like the right balance.
That's the wrong
If
one.
if that's what you've got used to, I can't do the Reese's Pieces. I don't know what they do to theirs, but
It's
No,
American
Kjell just-
chocolate. It sucks.
Yeah. Anywhere that puts butyric acid in chocolate is,
Hershey's
Bugger off.
disgusting.
totally agree.
I think on that note, let's say goodbye to folks, and we'll jump over into the after show. And
All right.
yeah, bye, folks.
Good night.
Okie doke. Bye.